What's up, people? This is Mr. UV, aka Mr. Ultraviolet, and in this video of Super Fighters Legend of Shenron, we will be doing a UR tier list. Now, this tier list will be covering the URs that are in the game at the moment of me recording this video. There will be more coming in the future, like Beerus. There also will be Gogeta, which is the best character in the game. There also will be UI, Ultra Instinct Goku, and there also will be others. But I know for a fact those three will be coming in the future. Also, another thing to keep in mind, this tier list is based off of max stats, as well as you have to keep in mind that all of the characters are pretty much the same typing. They are either the yellow or the purple, so they will be sharing the same resources, which makes it more important to pick the right one to have on your team or right two to have on your team, because when you get later in the game, it's going to take way more resources to build them up. For example, like if we look at this, like everyone's the same type, so to get this yellow, all these yellow guys, they're all going to share the same resources. All right, so if you look at this Goten I got, right, if you look at him, I have to get him to this tier just to level up my SSG Goku. And that's going to take a lot of fusions, a lot of stones to fuse together just to be able to get the resources to do it. Now, remember that all these URs you will be able to have a chance of unlocking one copy of for free after the 7-day event ends. But Goku Super Saiyan 4 and Vegeta Super Saiyan 4 and Kale, those are the only three that you cannot get free to play. So the free to play URs that are best, in my opinion, are these two that you see on screen: SS Blue Goku and SS Blue Vegeta. In my opinion, I think that Vegeta is better just because he does more damage. Vegeta also has the highest attack stat and damage stat in the game at the moment of me recording this video. He also does stuns on all of his attacks. He has built-in damage reduction in his kit. Goku has built-in damage reduction in his kit as well. He also does pretty much I would say the highest tier of damage as well, under Vegeta, because he is the highest. But pretty much like under that one, under that stat, which is 510,000 attack stat, Goku has 476, so pretty much 1,000. And pretty much everybody else that has high damage has about that same amount. So pretty much these two right here are doing the most damage in the game, and you get them first. These are the first URs you have access to unlocking. They are the best in my opinion. They actually work pretty well together. Both of them attack the highest damage dealer on the back rows on the enemy team, so they pretty much knocks out the DPS. If you can take out the DPS early, you pretty much won the match. Like I said, damage reduction built into their kit. They're both key masters, so you know their special is going to be hitting very hard. Pretty much average or a little higher than average health, because compared to the SSRs, the URs have more, and out of the URs they have pretty much the highest HP. So these two right here, you get them first, and they are the best in my opinion, based off of kit and based off of stats. You might be biased towards certain other characters on the list, but just going off kit and stats, these guys are the best, and they are the first ones that you can actually get. So keep that in mind. All right, now the next ones, I'm just going to group them all together, and they're more of an honorable mention unless you're willing to spend money on the game. And when I say spend money, I mean minimum of $100 and up. And they pretty much are the two Super Saiyan 4s as well as Kale. You access both of these through the VIP. They did have an offer for Goku for $100 in the store within your first 7 days, and as well as you can get a random offer for one of the two SS4s, and then there's an offer still in the store right now that you can get. But we're gonna go on to Kale. Basically, she's nothing special. Out of all three of them, she's the last one you have access to getting, and as we look through her kit, she's actually the worst in my opinion, mainly because she really does nothing special. As you can see, we're looking at her kit. She has the built-in damage reduction. She attacks 3 random enemies on the back row. Um, with her ultimate, pretty much she can increase her own attack. Other than that, she really doesn't do anything special. The more health, the more damage you do to her, the more damage she can do. So the less health she has, the more damage she can put out. Built-in damage reduction. Like I said, she pretty much attacks the back row, which the damage dealers are at. Keep in mind she is a brute, so her specials aren't going to hit that hard compared to Kai Masters. But don't get me wrong, if you build her right, she can get busy. All right, but compared to the other two, the Super Saiyan 4s, she is underwhelming. All right, so we'll get into those. All right, so we'll go ahead and get into the next one, which is Super Saiyan 4 Goku. I still think the Vegeta is better than the Goku as well, but it's up to you. But let's get into Goku's kit. Goku pretty much, he attacks, the highest damage dealer on the enemy team. He also can attack and do damage to whoever on the enemy team has the lowest amount of HP. So he can pretty much finish people off. He also has a good ability, the execute ability, as you just seen right there, where he can pretty much wipe out enemies that have Defiance, which is where you stay alive with just 1 HP until you take your next turn. And pretty much any of the resurrection type abilities, he can stop them from being revived when he uses his ultimate. So that includes Defiance, that includes the Shinron ability that has the resurrection. That includes the character, what's his name? Old Kai. That includes any of these soul gems or spirit gems that has the resurrection ability on it. So Okai, he can bring you back from the dead. When Goku uses his ultimate, they're not coming back. When he kills them with it, they're not coming back. And remember, he has the execute ability, which means that he can bypass Defiance as well. So they're not even going to get that second life with that skill as well. All right, so that's why he's better than Kale, as you can see. Now, Vegeta, I think that this Vegeta is also better than the Goku, even though the Goku has the execute. Vegeta has the counterpart to that. He pretty much does good damage, but he's pretty much, think of it like this. He's a clone of this Vegeta right here, the redhead one, the SSG Vegeta. The Super Saiyan 4 pretty much has the same exact kit. Pretty much can stun. My man's he has the Defiance, so if you kill him, he doesn't get eliminated. He stays alive for one more, till he takes one more a turn. So he can stay alive for one attack, eat all the abilities that they're hitting him, just eating it. And then when he takes his final turn, he'll finish them all. So pretty much, I think that the SS4s and Kale, they are the next ones on the list that's better, that's after the SS Blues. But because they're not free to play, I'm not even going to mention them as part of the list. But I did just go ahead and explain it if you are willing to, spend money. All right. So like I said, this is based off who you want to do the event for, the 7-day events, where you're willing to spend your diamonds for, because you're always going to get a free copy, all right, of all the other ones other than the SS4s. All right, so this is pretty much where the offers were for the SS4s and Kale. They were in the shop. There was one right there. With another one under the Kale icon on the right side of the screen. That's where the first one was at. And then there is another spot where you can buy it after the 7 days. Let me see if I can find it. Because the other two, you were only able to buy those offers for Super Saiyan 4, Vegeta, and Goku within the first 7 days of you making the account. The last spot that you can get it is in this offer right here. But it is kind of weird. So don't take my word 100% for it. Take it with a grain of salt, because their photos, as you can see, is still in there. But if we scroll up to the top, it says SSR. So it grants you a SSR either from the will or intelligence, which both of these are will and intelligent, but they're not SSRs. They're URs. And URs come as URs. They don't turn from a SSR to a UR. They just come as a UR. So I don't know if they are actually in the pack based off the text, but their pictures does say that they are inside of the pack. And the last spot on the list for you to get these characters is obviously the hardest way, which is VIP. Because pretty much, going off the top of my head, don't quote me on this, but I think you got to spend at least $2,000 to at least get to Kale. I think it's at least $2,000, $2,000 US dollars. and I think it's about 1,000 to hit Vegeta, and then 1,500 to get the first copy of Goku, and then it just stacks on from there, and then you unlock Kale. All right, so that's why I said that these guys aren't really considered unless you're willing to pay. If you are, I still think they're under the SS Blues. I still don't think they're better than the SS Blues. I think that they're under them. But if you're not willing to pay, 100% SS Blues are still number one, and then we're going to the next ones, or which will be either number 2 or 3, depending on how you look at it. All right. Okay, so the next one might come as a surprise, but it is Destroyer Toppo. All right, he is a tank. All right, but he is, in my opinion, the third or the second best character in the game at the moment of me recording this video. Well, UR, I would say. The second grouping of URs, all right? There is another tank that's also a UR, and it is Toppo. Both of them are Toppo, but the Destroyer one is better. If we look at his kit, he does things that no other tank does, and some other characters don't even do. Pretty much on his ultimate and on his basics, he can reduce damage. He also can reflect damage back at the enemy once they hit him. He also has a chance of putting down 3 different debuffs. All right. So he has a chance of putting down a stun. He has a chance of putting down the wounded, which is basically like defense down. They take like 13 or 14% extra damage. And he also has a chance of putting down a rage block, which basically stops you from using your special. So he has a chance to put down one of those 3 when he hits somebody, the enemy, with his ultimate. Also, when he uses his ultimate, he can grant 3 allies a shield, which is basically like 20% of his max HP for 2 rounds. So he's protecting the allies on the team, 3 of them out of 5, with a shield. He also has control, which he can pretty much either stun, defense down, or special block. And he also can reflect 20% damage that he receives back at the enemy. So this guy pretty much is doing everything. He's a tank as well as a control unit. He has the highest HP for the tank side of the URs. So he's the best tank. He has the best defense and the better kit. Even though it's only 2 of them and both of the tanks are him, this is the better one. And this is why I say that he's number 3, all right, on the list. Or number 2, depending on how you look at it. If you want to group both of the SS Blues together, he'll be number 2. If you don't, he'll be number 3. But he's the best. He's the next best one because of his kit. This guy's, he's actually allowing you to do extra debuffs. Debuffs can actually save you a lot of time and basically sustain your team. Because if they're constantly being stunned, they're not using specials. If you're absorbing special meter or rage meter, or if you're putting special block on them, you're not taking that big damage. Even though basics do a lot of damage, he's able to eat that because you're putting them on your front lines. And when he does take the hit, he's reflecting 20% of that damage back at him. Okay, now, like I said, the other tank is Toppo as well. Now, if you have the first Toppo, don't worry about going for this Toppo. His kit is pretty good. Don't get me wrong, but the first one, Destroyer Toppo, is better. And if you already like invested a lot into maybe your golden freezer or your metal cooler, and you're really not sold on the first Toppo, then I would say go for either Hit or Goku Black. All right, so we'll go into Hit. I think Hit is the next one on the list if you're not going for a tank. Basically, Hit, the way he works is he can guarantee he lands all of his attacks. That goes with the lore in the TV show. So basically, you know, him being an assassin, he doesn't miss. Precise. So basically, he can land all his attacks. You know how in this game, when you hit, it might say 9 attacks or hits 10 times. Well, you know, when you play the game, when you're firing off an attack that's hitting 6 times or whatever, like 4 of them might miss and he might land the other 2. You know, he doesn't miss any of those. He's landing all of them. All right. Also, and this is just an example right here, how you can say it says hit damage 5 times of a total of 400% damage. And you see Vegeta's hits was like 400% of his attack. Hits doing more damage. Even though his attack stat is, his base attack stat is lower, the amount of the damage for his skills is around the same or more, because he does increase his own attack. Also, Hit has like a built-in like dodge mechanic in there. So basically, when he drops under 70% of his HP and when he drops under 30% of his HP, he will dodge the next attack towards him. So let's say the match starts, he gets hit, he drops under 70%. Someone else is about to target him the next turn. He would automatically dodge that attack. When he drops under 30% HP, he would dodge the next attack after that. So he can dodge when he drops to 7 and 30% HP. He also has guaranteed hits on all of his abilities, which is his ultimate and his basic, as well as he has a chance on one of his passives. It says he has a chance to stun on pretty much all of his attacks. As you can see right here, it says drags him into a time prison, stopping the target from taking action for two rounds. It doesn't say stunned, but it says stops them from, you know, taking that action. So that's pretty much a stun right there. So pretty much he can stun on his basic, on his ultimate. He can guarantee he lands all of those attacks, as well as he can dodge, which he has built-in sustain. It's not a heal, but he can dodge when he drops under, you know, vital points of HP. All right, and this is what I was talking about, drops under 70%. Then he has another one for 30%. And then he also has a, you know, increased dodge rate of 7.4%. That is really good if you put him on a dodge team with someone like the rabbit that looks like Bear's Despero. Because basically I think he gives like 7 or 10% speed and dodge to the whole team. So pretty much if you put him on like a green speed and dodge team, he'll do wonders on that team, especially because while he's dodging, he's not missing. So I would say that Hit is a decent unit. Only thing holding the back is, like I said, he's not doing that much damage on his ultimates and his specials because he's a brute. But like I also said with Kale, he can compensate for that if you build him correctly. But I will also say that there are better things you could do, because like Vegeta, he has the stun. Goku, he has the damage reduction. He also can lower your attack. He also increases his attack. It's just better things that certain characters have, which is why Hit's not as high on the list. Like some people would think he'll be higher. Yes, he has the chance of stunning on his attacks. He has the guaranteed damage output that he could put out. But someone like Goku can actually cut through all of that damage. Someone like Vegeta, who can stop himself from dying and basically get an extra turn. Also putting stuns on the whole team, just like Hit can. And has damage reduction, which is better than dodge in this kit. So the next person now I would say is Kefla. Alright, now the thing with her is she's just straight raw damage. Hit had a little bit of control in his kit, and his sustain was through, you know, dodging. But Kefla basically doesn't have any sustain. She doesn't have a heal. She doesn't increase damage reduction. But what she does do is that she just, you know, all out attack, attack, attack. Now the way that she works is that when she hits, she has a chance to hit again. That's on her basic as well on her ultimate. So when she fires off her basic, she has a chance, I think it's like 20 to 30%, that she can go ahead and fire off another basic. Also, she has that same ability on her ultimate. She hits you with her ultimate and she has the chance to fire it off again. And I believe the ultimate, when she fires it off the second time, it gets stronger, because she also has something built into her kit. Like if you compare the damage to these other ones, her damage is lower, but she's getting an extra 10% every time she takes a turn. So her damage can actually be up there with the Goku SS Blue or the SS Blue Vegeta. But it takes time. That's why she's not as high as the SS Blues or the Hit or even Toppo on this list, in my opinion. She can do massive damage, but it takes time. If you look at her base, her passive, it says basically every time that she takes a turn, she gets a 10% increase on her attack, as well as she can, put down the defense down, which is the gravely wounded. So she basically lowers the defense, which in hand allows her to do more damage output. So she's getting the extra 10% right there, and speed extra 12%, allowing her to take more turns. But like I said, it's all about her staying alive. If she gets wiped out in the first 2 rounds, even if she even took a turn, let's say she takes a turn, then she gets wiped out after that, she haven't reached her maximum potential. Her kit never reached its maximum potential because she has to stay alive at least for 2 to 3 turns to get that extra 20-30% attack. Okay? This is why she's so low. And keep in mind, she is a brute. She's not a Kai Master. So her specials they're not gonna hit as hard as a Kai Master. If you don't take my word for it, scroll down, look at her stats, and you look at her damage stats, it's gonna be like 60,000. You want that stat to be about 76,000. That's like the highest. That's like the average for high damage dealing specials. All right. So we're just scrolling through. We're looking at it. She does have, like, she could just take off, debuffs and all of that. And I mean, that's pretty much it. She's just raw damage. Just raw damage. That's why she's so low. It's also another reason why I'm contemplating even from pulling on her banner, because I can get a second copy of her. Her banner is up at the moment of me recording this video, but I don't want to waste 50,000 gems or diamonds for a character that's not really all that, because I don't know who's coming out after her. It might be UI Goku, it might be Gogeta, it might be Bears, it might be someone else that I don't even know about. So I'm kind of hesitant on pulling on her. And remember what I said at the beginning of this video, all these characters are competing for the same resources. And if you've been playing this game, the gold and the purple, or the yellow and purple typings, it's hard to get fodder for them. It's hard to get duplicates for them to get them to the highest tier level, which is like legendary for me. I'm working on getting to legendary plus. It's hard to do that for characters like this. Now, like you can see right here, what I'm trying to show you is pretty much this Khalifa or Khalifa or whatever how you say it, the one that's not fused. She's kind of similar to this version right here. Kefla, my bad. Khalifa is the one that's not fused. Kefla is the fused one, if I'm not mistaken. All right, but Khalifa or whatever, she's kind of a watered down version of this one. So if you kind of hesitant for going for her, don't even get her. Build up the SSR, and then I would say go for Hit, because they're pretty much the same tier. Hit, in my opinion, is better than her just because he has the guaranteed damage and he has the sustain built into his kit with the dodges. She doesn't have that. She can get wiped out within the first attack or the second attack, and then she's just done. Never had a chance to even do anything. At least he can dodge, get nuked and then dodge at least one attack and then maybe get nuked after that. She can't. She's dead. So that's why these two are so low. I know they're a lot of people's favorites, but their kits is not just doing it. All right. And to be honest, I might be toxic right now. People might say that, but I think Roshi's even better than them. All right. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get into the last one on the list. In my opinion, that's for attackers, and that is Goku Black. Okay, so Goku Black, right? He's the last attacker on the list. He's the worst attacker in my opinion. To be honest, I think Roshi is better than Goku Black, Khalifa, and Hit, if we're going strictly off a kit. Now, that might be toxic. Some people might leave, but read Roshi's kit and read the other threes. All right, his basic alone, he has the same ability Goku Super Saiyan 4 has on his ultimate. When he hits you with his basic, you can't be resurrected, revived with spirit gems. Old Kai can't bring you back to life. None of that. All right. Also, on his special, he does damage, which is 658% of his attack. Mind you, he's a support. He does have lower attack than Kai Masters or Brutes, because he is a support. But he's doing 656% attack. All right, so he's hitting, and then not only that, he's healing Well, he's not healing on that ability, but he's increasing your whole team's defense by 12% for 2 rounds. So he's sealing, no revives, and on a special, he's doing damage as well as increasing everybody's defense. That is really, really good. All right. Okay, so let's keep it going. All right. So also, he increases the team's damage reduction. So he increases the brutes and keymasters. So that's your damage dealers. He increases their damage reduction by 11%. Also, for the first 2 rounds of the match, he increases the whole team speed by 25 points. So he's allowing them to attack faster. He's also increasing the damage reduction that works real good for people who don't have any sustain, like Khalifa. Also builds upon characters like Goku Blue and Goku Vegeta. Vegeta Blue, because they already have damage reduction built into their kit. All right. As well as Roshi can heal. Here it goes right here. So when an ally drops under 30% HP for the first time, he heals them for 60% of their HP. Now it says he heals them 31% of their max HP for 2 rounds. So that's 30 plus 30 is 60. So if they drop to 30 HP, this kicks on and he heals them all the way back up to 90 HP. All right, he only can do this once. But also, every time that Roshi uses his special, which gives everybody on the team defense, he heals himself. So basically, he's constantly healing himself. He's healing the team. He's giving everybody defense. He's making everybody faster. He's also giving everybody damage reduction. This guy, his kit, he does it all. The only thing he's not doing is reviving units. But he's stopping the enemy from reviving. So if they got old Kai and you got Roshi on your team, that's basically having a useless unit on the enemy team. They're not even going to be able to do anything. They become useless. And you got to remember, everybody that I'm saying right now, I'm listed on this list, they are all, competing for the same resources. That's why I can say Roshi is better than Hit, Goku Black, Khalifa. Because he's a wheel, he's a yellow, he's a gold. He's better than them, kit-wise. Especially if you did go for the Goku Blue and the Vegeta Blue. You already got the 2 best damage dealers. You throw Roshi on there, or you got, Destroyer Toppo, which is the best tank in the game. Come on. You don't need those other 3. And remember, they're all competing for the same resources. So we'll go ahead and get into Goku Black, because I know a lot of people love this guy. We'll look at his stats. His HP is pretty much around average for a UR. It's higher than all the SSRs. His attack is pretty much up there, 470,000. His damage is up there, 79,000. So he has high damage, high attack stat. Average HP for UR, this is pretty good. But the thing is, look at his skills. It's just damage. He does have a chance to put down dot damage, which is damage over time. It's like a burn effect that he does, right? And his ultimate does do the highest number I've seen in the game thus far, which is 700%. When he fires this off, he's hitting for 700%. But the thing is, it's the same problem with Khalifa. Just raw damage. He's not doing nothing else. He's not bringing anything else to the game or to your team to offer but just damage. And because he doesn't have any sustain built into his kit as well, he doesn't have a self-heal. He doesn't have extra damage reduction. He doesn't have dodge. He's just raw damage. He can get nuked real fast. You're going to have this guy built real big, or you're going to have one of these other units that I list, like Toppo, to take damage, offer shields, or increase the team damage reduction. Or maybe Roshi, giving people, healing them, damage reduction, defense. Like, you have another unit here, Dabor, right? He's an SSR. He does the same thing Goku Black does. Dot damage, massive attack. Matter of fact, Dabor has the best stats out of all of the SSRs. If you watch my other tier list video, I already covered that. He has the highest stats out of all the SSRs. He's there just to do damage, just like Goku Black. Now, the thing that Goku Black kind of lacks with, even though he does the dot damage, he doesn't detonate all his dot damage at one time. I think Dabor, when he uses his ultimate, he detonates all the dot damage. So instead of it doing 90% for 2 rounds, when he uses his ultimate, I believe it does all of that 90% or 180% instantly on top of the damage that he's inflicting with the ultimate. Goku Black doesn't do that. He just does the dot damage over the 3 rounds, 2 rounds, or 5 rounds, whatever it is. So basically, he's nothing special. He just has high damage stat, but that's it. At least Kefla does high damage. Well, I would say Goku Black kinda is better than Kefla if you're talking about him getting one shot, because he does more damage instantly. Because his, as you can see, 740%. So he can do that damage way harder. And that is higher than the board stat. But remember, Kefla, she can build upon that. 2 turns, she's hitting for 20%. And she can still hit twice. So let's say that she hits you once. Boom, she's hitting for 400% on the first one. She hits again, that's 800. Goku Black is doing 700, yes, but she has a chance to hit for maybe 8 to 9. They both have no type of sustain. So it's either up to you whether which one you think is better, whether you think Kefla's better or Goku Black's better. But I think Kefla's better than Goku Black just because she has the chance to get higher damage stats than Goku Black. And Goku Black just does damage just like her. She can do more damage over time. He does it more instantly. But both of them are trash units in my opinion compared to all the other ones. The SS Blues hit. He does good damage, but his come through not missing. And he at least can dodge and sustain and live longer. As well as he has a stun. And then when you look at the Blues, they just have better stats, base stats. They both have stuns. They both Goku lowers the enemy's attack, increases his own crit, which allows him to do massive damage like Goku Black and Kefla. Also, they both have damage reduction built into their kit. This is why I say that they're better. And we already know that the VIP units are better than Goku Black and Kefla. Kale. Kefla, yeah. And even hit. And in my opinion, like I said, the Toppos, they're tanks, but their kit are better than those damage dealers. You can get away with having SSR damage dealers or these two. Now, I'm just showing you their kit so you can see exactly what I'm saying. And I forgot the part that they have weakened in their kit. So they also can put down damage, defense down. They both have it, see? Gravely wounded. So they both have stuns. They have stuns. They have defense downs. They have damage reduction. They're doing massive damage because they have the highest attack stats, the highest HP stats as well. Vegeta's is a little low, but it's still around the high. You know, come on. They're better units than the first ones. Go for both of them. If you do want to get another one on the team, I would say skip, Kefla, Goku Black, and even hit, and I would go for a tank in Roshi. If you want to run the whole UR team. Toppo, you already know he's bringing the stun. He's bringing the defense down. He's bringing the special block or rage block. He's giving shields to the whole team. He's increasing damage reduction. He's reflecting damage back at him. So every time he gets hit, he's throwing 20% of that damage that he received back at the enemy. And he's also, if you build him right, he can probably hit pretty hard for a tank. Like if you got gold gear all on him and it's all has maxed out stars, he can do some work. Even this Toppo can be considered better than the other 3. And we already went through Roshi's kit. It's way better than the other ones. He's bringing no revives. He's bringing defense up for the whole team. He's bringing speed up for the whole team. He's bringing heals. He has it all. Damage reduction. When you just go through the kits, if you don't want to take my word for it, I know some people might think these characters are better than what I'm giving them credit for. But when you consider the kits, take the biasness out. Consider what they offer. And then also consider that they're all competing for the same resources. Why would I have a bunch of trash units on my team and I got to decide, do I give this resource to my SS Blue Goku or do I give it to Goku Black? Or do I give it to Roshi, who can actually help my whole team? Or do I give it to Kefla, who needs Roshi on the team to actually live long enough to do anything? Or should I give these resources to Toppo, who can protect my whole team? Or should I give it to Hit, who needs, you know, enough time to actually get off his attacks to even do the damage that he's there to do? You know? So that's why I organized them the way I did. I hope the video wasn't too long for you, but if you really want to know, go through the kits, read it for yourself, and you'll see. I'm number 2 on my server, just based off of, you know, reading these kits and knowing what they do. See you in the next one.